Dethroning Your Inner Critic YouTube channel. I am your host, Joanna Kleinman, psychotherapist and CEO of the Dethroning Your Inner Critic transformational coaching company. And today we are delving into the path to your most successful life. So we're going to be focusing on 2 of our 5 inner critics that we all encounter. We're going to talk about the inadequate inner critic and the perfectionistic inner critic today. And these are the internal voices that can certainly hinder your journey towards manifesting your visions. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about 7 habits that I have embodied in my journey to manifest my vision that have been game changers for me. So in order to really embody these 7 habits, I've had to shift into using a completely different part of my brain. Okay? Because your inner critic lives in one part of your brain, and your authentic self actually lives in a completely different part of your brain. So I want to start by sharing with all of you that manifesting my vision for my business, for the impact that I want to have on other people, has certainly been one of the most challenging and vulnerable experiences of my entire life. Okay. So if you see people on social media who seem to have effortlessly manifested their empires, please rest assured that you are not getting their full story. Okay. It's important to understand that without some form of spirituality, without some form of trusting in a power greater than yourself, the entrepreneurial journey can be at least 10 times harder. Okay. So the key to manifesting your vision is understanding that your clarity about what you're creating, who you're serving, what you're building only comes from taking action. Now, in our culture that's addicted to overthinking and perfection, many people want everything perfectly mapped out before they take any action. Okay. Now that's your perfectionist inner critic trying to convince you that that's a good idea. And the toughest part about being an entrepreneur is taking action before you feel fully ready, because your inner critic is going to go bonkers with that. Okay. So you have to have a big enough why for yourself. You have to believe so deeply in what you're building and why you're building it. Because this journey is going to challenge you to face your deepest pain. Because it's putting your heart and soul out there, okay? It's intentionally facing rejection and judgment and the risk of failure. And that's not something that everyone is prepared for. So I'm passionate about supporting people through this vulnerable and winding journey, because facing your deepest vulnerabilities and fears transforms you into a different person. You become so deeply connected with your vision in your mind and in your body and in your soul. And stepping into that different person changes every facet of your life. So before we can realize that certain future, we have to change both internally and externally to embody that new version of ourselves. Now, it sounds simple to understand, but it takes hard, consistent work to do. So building my business, building my impact has been the perfect playground for practicing the work of the mind method and dethroning your inner critic. That's why I am so passionate about helping other visionary leaders, okay? Because our inner critics are designed to resist change, okay? And we have to become different, right? For every next level of growth and impact that you have to step into a different person. I have become a different person, I don't know, 10 times over, probably in the past 10 years. So the next level of your unstoppable success requires the next level of you. So as my company grows, as I prepare for the impact that I want to have, I'm realizing that I have to continue to let go of a lot of old habits that no longer serve me. The woman I am becoming now, my next level self, has very different habits than my inner critic self. Okay? So I'm literally fast forwarding to my authentic self, right? I'm seeing the vision of what I'm creating and I am becoming her now. I'm trusting her. I'm learning from her. So understanding the difference between your inner critic self and your authentic self is crucial. Okay? Your authentic self is that future self that you need to embody right now. So to deeply connect with and embody that future self, you have to make the conscious daily effort to become her. So in my 30 years along my journey of growth and transformation, there are too many versions of myself that I have become. And I'm becoming a new version right now, yet again. So I want to talk to you today about the biggest habits I've had to embody along this journey. So the first habit is that my authentic self takes care of herself first. Not my inner critic self, my authentic self. So taking care of myself is pivotal to my energy level, to how I show up in creating my approach, to creating new tools, to showing up for all of you. And there were many years where I sabotaged myself when I reached the edge of my next big level of growth, right? I would soothe my discomfort that showed up by overeating. I indulged in certain online distractions. So my next level self knows that taking care of me, it actually is the source of my power. Okay? When I feel emotionally strong, mentally strong, physically strong, when I feel fit and well nourished, that's a game changer for me. And I'm not just fueling my body and mind. I'm literally fueling my vision with my choices. So that involves conscious choices about nutrition, exercise, water, sleep, meditation, making sure I have fun in my life, making sure that all of my important relationships are good and I'm connected. So my work gets planned around those priorities rather than the other way around. Okay. And sometimes I literally have to talk to my inner critic self and say, okay, right? You're not working this weekend. Okay. You're going and having a weekend off. You're going and having fun this weekend. Habit number 2, my authentic self is brutally honest with me. Okay. So the more connected I am to my vision and my next level self, the more sensitive I am to anything that is out of alignment. Okay. So being honest with myself about what's affecting me or who's affecting me and the core issues that are being drummed up in my life. Okay. And doing the deep inner work to heal those core wounds is essential. Okay. Because we're not compartmentalized beings. So everything around us influences our energy. So anything that's out of alignment is going to impact our results. And this has led to needing to be radically responsible in my relationships and in my relationship to money, in my relationship to my own self-worthiness, and in my old core beliefs that my inner critic created so long ago. I've had to take radical responsibility for all of that. And let me tell you something, it is not pretty. Okay. I've had to clean up many relationships in my life over the past several years, but radical responsibility and seeing where I am the creator of anything that's not in alignment with my authentic self and my vision has been huge. Habit number 3 is that my authentic self embraces being wrong. Okay. Now, embracing being wrong is a phenomenal way to grow and evolve. So it is about being willing to learn from our mistakes and sometimes actually getting excited about learning from mistakes, because when we're wrong, we're always learning something. And that is essential for our journey to become the next level of ourselves. Okay, so I've had to admit not just making mistakes, but also times where my inner critic made fear-based choices. And it took some time for me to unhook myself from my inner critic's beliefs about being wrong. Like, I didn't have what it took, and I wasn't going to be good enough to create that vision. That's a very old wound of mine. Okay. So now I have a very different relationship with being wrong. I don't worry if I'm wrong because I know that there really are no wrong choices or decisions, because sometimes we make a decision and life either goes one way or it goes the other. And if it goes in a way that we don't want it to go, that becomes an opportunity for growth and evolution into that next level self that I continue to become. Habit number 4 is that my authentic self trusts her decisions. Now, trusting our decisions is a very crucial step as visionary leaders. We need to trust our inner body wisdom. Okay? If I tune into my body, my nervous system will tell me in 10 seconds whether I should trust my decision. And I am no longer making decisions based on other people's reactions. Okay? Other people's reactions are no longer my responsibility. In other words, when I deeply trust that my choices are in alignment with what I'm creating, I'm not afraid to say things or do things because I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint somebody, or I get caught up in self-doubt. Now, this is essential for the sake of our vision. We've got to develop enough self-trust so that we are clear about the decisions that we're making and we can stand in the face of somebody else's disagreement or somebody else's upset. Habit number 5, my authentic self delegates responsibility to other people and releases control. This is huge. Okay. So delegating effectively and releasing control is crucial for building your vision. I have a team now that I trust to help me build my vision. Okay. And I have to let my vision have its own timeline. Okay. You have to become the vessel and just trust the process. The how and the when of the vision is not up to you. Now, over the years, what I have found is that the reality of what I'm manifesting far outweighs anything my imagination could conjure up. Okay. So I've actually gotten to the point where I enjoy releasing control and trusting the process, right? Because I can wake up in the morning and say, wow, I kind of have no idea what's going to happen today. And sometimes I meet the most extraordinary people. I have doors open that I never expected to have open, right? But that's because I've let go of my own inner critic's timeline and I trust the process. Habit number 6, my authentic self knows how to slow down. Slowing down is so essential. So rushing is often something that comes from an inner critic mindset of scarcity. Slowing down actually allows us to reflect on what we really want to create and why we want to create it. Our drive for creation has to come from that internal motivation rather than an external source of motivation, right? Like money or status or anything else that's external. So I take the time to slow down every day and I get connected and in touch with my bigger why. Habit number 7, my authentic self knows that my life is right on time. So my inner critic believes that there is not enough time and that there is an urgency. But my authentic self knows that everything happens on time, in its own time, and that there's always plenty of time. Because if there's no arrival point and there's no rush to get anywhere, then I can keep taking aligned actions without feeling like I'm hustling. So these 7 habits are literally changing my life. They are allowing me to embody the next level of who I need to be. And they can change your life too on your path to becoming your next level self. So the journey is certainly not always glamorous, but it is about practice and returning to your authentic self with patience and consistency and giving yourself an outrageous amount of grace and self-compassion. So embrace the whole journey, not just the parts that you love, and practice these habits to continue to step into your next level self. And thank you for joining in today. I hope you've been inspired to embrace the journey of becoming your next level self. And remember, it's about practice and patience and self-compassion. So until next time, keep empowering your true authentic self and keep dethroning that inner critic. See you soon.